What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Inside the Lines. Happy Tuesday. It's a big MLB day, okay? We don't have any NBA. Covered that game for tomorrow yesterday, so hopefully you tuned into that. Today is Dinger Tuesday. We don't have Jake, but we have the model. We have some decent ideas of what we want to go for. Yesterday, Stephen, what we went 1 and 2, but
got a plus
profitable.
Money. Well, it should count that we had the very first at-bat of the night. We got our one.
Yeah, we were so right
Gunnar Henderson,
on Gunnar Henderson.
Leadoff home run. So
Jake's going to be so upset that we hit a Gunnar Henderson prop without him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a look at a few more. And this is a great day for questions for this night's slate of MLB games. If anyone has questions about games, certainly feel free. Definitely want to dabble into some of this WNBA talk. I don't have any official plays right now, but I'm thinking if we talk it out, I kind of have an idea of where I want to go with this. But first, let's get through the home run props, some Dinger Tuesday. Let's start in Cleveland here. Shout out, Derek.
So what I like to do while Jake is gone is complain and whine that how dare he take a vacation during the baseball season. But what I look at is the model's top 20 home run hitters. And what our line would be if we were a sports book using our own data. And then I obviously compare it to the betting lines and the best prices that I can find. And out of the top 20, there are only four guys with good value as a home run hitter. And the first one is Jose Ramirez for Cleveland. The best price I saw was plus 375 on Fanatics. The model would have him at plus 199. So we are fading his lower home trend. He's only hit a home run in 7 of his 35 road games, which is around 20% of them, versus 36% of his home games. But recently he's been doing better on the road with 4 home runs in his last 10 road games. So that's kind of what we're flowing with here. The past 2 seasons, Cincinnati's allowed more runs at home than on the road. Cincinnati's using an opener, Brent Suter, and then followed most likely by Nick Martinez. And these 2 players recently have allowed a combined 4 home runs in 17.2 innings, which is over 2 per 9, which is double the rate you want to be in. So hopefully the conditions are good for Ramirez.
Okay. And again, we would make that plus. I feel like we're trying to sell someone something. We're like at plus 199, like 999, you can get da-da-da. Exactly. But nonetheless, if we're saying that at plus 200 and you see it at plus 375, certainly some good value there. Let's move on here. We're going to the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, Luis Robert at plus 550, bet 365. The model would have him at plus 322 because he's hot. He's hit 3 home runs in his last 6 games. This is more has to do with also the opposing starter, Brian Wu, who, based on his look and his name, sounds like he's Korean American, but he hasn't confirmed it.
I had a feeling that was coming.
I'm not gonna back him. Ordinarily, that would be a non-starter to go against the Korean American. But if he's not going to confirm it, that seems weird, like he's ashamed or something. So he's been great this year in terms of home runs allowed. Only 1 home run allowed in over 33 innings. But last year he had a pretty high rate of 1.34, allowed per 9 at 13 home runs allowed in just 87.2 innings pitched. And the interesting thing is his ERA and WHIP are much better at home. So he's a better starter at home, but his home run rate is actually higher at home. So when he does allow hits, they're disproportionately home runs.
Disproportionately home runs. Mm-hmm. I like that stat. All right, let's
catchy.
Yeah, let's go over. I mean, Yordan Alvarez. If you can get him at plus 575 anywhere to hit a home run, feels like
I can always thank Derek for throwing cold water on my picks. He likes to point out that we was pitching well. It's like, yeah, I know.
We keep each other honest.
I don't need that. I don't need some positivity here. I'm hanging by a thread. Yordan Alvarez. So the number that I could find is plus 575 on Bet Rivers. The model would have it close to plus 360. So the plus 360 would mirror his rate from last few seasons, where he's been one of the top home run hitters, and his June rate. He's had 4 home runs in 9 games in June. Why the Bet Rivers plus 575 is more reflective of the fact that he went 20 games in May with just 1 home run. So it's kind of like, which version is it? I'm hoping it's the one that we've seen from 2021, 22, 23, and then also the one in June. The opposing starter, Jordan Hicks, his home run rate is 1.15 at home. His last 7 appearances, which is a lot higher than his 0.33 on the road. So he's not giving up any dingers on the road, but at home he has. His last start, Hicks, he did not give up a home run, but he did get hit pretty hard. Didn't even last 4 innings. And then prior to that, he allowed a home run in each of his 4 previous starts.
And what again for Alvarez? What would we set it at?
Plus 361.
Okay. All right, we got 2 more Dinger Tuesday plays here. Surely we have to go at least something profitable tonight. I have a good feeling.
I think one more dinger.
Yeah.
At these prices, they're all plus.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, they're all around plus 400 and more. So 1 out of 4. Come on. Dalton Varsho, who I didn't know who was this morning till I saw this.
Nice.
The model would have him at plus 408. And you could get plus 475 bet MGM. It was plus 500 on Caesars, I think, earlier, but that price is gone. This plus 408 is reflective of how he started this season, which was 10 home runs in his first 50 games. This is a classic he's due, hopefully, because he has none in his last 12 games. This also is a reflection of the model and how it handles pitchers, starters with no stats in the majors. Carlos Rodriguez for Milwaukee is making his debut. So unless he's a star, that we make our own adjustments to reflect a potential star. He's not. He has in AAA this year. He had a subpar 1.06 home runs per 9. He has 8 home runs in 68 innings pitched. Then Milwaukee's bullpen this year has an ERA of 4.37, which is way higher than 2.98 on the road. And as a result, Milwaukee's allowing greater than 20%. More runs at home. So I'm hoping that either Rodriguez gets hit hard in his debut or the bullpen gives up something.
We're getting some good questions in the chat here before we hit our other play of the day. Not a Dinger Tuesday play, just another baseball play because we're so good at baseball and we know everything about it. Let's take some questions here. Looking at Zach Wheeler, his strikeout line set at 6.5.
We have exactly 6.5.
Damn. So it depends on the juice. If you can get plus money, take it. Take whatever the plus money version of that story is, honestly. What about the Reds here? We like any home run props-ish? Any of them make the top 20?
No, but at the Reds side, we don't have any good value. In fact, we don't have anything there in terms of positive value. This is what this line looks like. It's the top 4 home run hitters on each team. The first number is our sim line, what we would set it at. And the second number is the line that we're getting delivered. It's only one line. I believe it's Caesar's line.
Right. Okay. Those are the thoughts on the Reds here. All right. Let's go to one play we do like today. Taking the Orioles at home at plus money versus the Atlanta Braves. Obviously makes sense. The Braves are favored in the spot, but to get a team as great as the Orioles are right now with the home record they have feels like a good spot to take them.
Yeah, this is not just being a homer. And the lines come down from as high as plus 125 for Baltimore down to, I think the best price now is plus 114. So it's been losing 2 points or so every hour since I've been monitoring it. So this could be, probably want to act now if you like Baltimore. It's because Atlanta's going with Fried, who's a established star, and the Orioles have Albert Suarez, who's only getting starts with Baltimore because of their injuries. He had like 2 previous stints in the majors. He's been a pro. He's 34 years old. So he's been pitching well in his limited action. Again, he has an ERA of under 2 in his 3 starts, in his 6 appearances as the Orioles this year. But last 3 starts, he has 3 earned runs in 14 innings. The Orioles offense is red hot. They just swept 4-game sweep at Tampa. They outscored Tampa 25-7.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Whereas Atlanta comes in cold, dropping their last 3 at Washington and getting outscored. Let me do the math: 9-17. So, and then they've lost 4 of 5. So this is one of those situations where you wouldn't think Baltimore, a team that is made the playoffs last year and won the division last year and is better in terms of a run differential, it would be an underdog at home. So that's why there's always value there.
Yeah. I mean, just even that spot in general, just being at home at plus money. And I love to take the Orioles here. I've been an Orioles girl for a while. And I don't know what it is. They just have a special spot in my heart.
And there are some long shot. They didn't make our top 20 hitters, home run hitters, because of because against the Fried matchup. But there is a really good long shot value. Rushman, we would have his line at plus 571. He's over plus 1,000 home run. Gunner, plus 900 in this feed. It might be even better in some places. And
Hunter's bats are hot.
so we would have a plus 670. So yeah, that could be another direction if you're to take a swing, pun intended, at some of these long shot home run.
I'm trying to see if there are any like promos on Hard Rock right now. Nothing, no one we've really talked about. Castellanos just hit a home run, plus 500.
Yankees first 5.
Oh, speaking of, I'm seeing the WNBA start to come up as well. There's 3 games tonight. First game is pretty ugly. We are looking at let me go back. Washington playing Atlanta. Washington is just straight up. They're 0-12, but they're probably like the best 0-12 team in professional sports I've ever seen, and they're covering. They're like 6-5. They're above 500 against the spread. So in theory, I'd feel like I'd want to take them in this spot, but that game's kind of like weird to me. The Sparks are playing Seattle. Cameron, I'm trying to play a WNBA 101 as I go with this, but Cameron Brink, the tall blonde, is on the Sparks. They're middle of the pack at best right now this season, but they just beat the Aces, which is the 2018 Warriors type of best team in the WNBA. Not right now, not this season, but in general, really, really big upset win for them. So I think they're going to be coming off the hangover of a big win like that. And I feel like we can see the Seattle Storm, who also are angry about a bad loss they just had. I could see them coming out really, really strong. So I'm debating if I take the Seattle spread, which is 11.5, which just feels like a lot. I'm gonna go. Do you have FanDuel pulled up?
No, I have Ajim, and you can get him at -11 at -110 on Caesars.
What can you see what their team total is?
Yes, I can. Why would they? They have team total on their NBA page, but they don't have them here. Okay. Washington or Seattle? Seattle. Team total is 84.5. The best price on the over is -115.
Okay. Let's take a look. They have.
That sounds high to me.
Yeah, they are. Okay, just like not putting up that many points this season. I mean, I don't know. I think they're going to be angry. They just lost to Minnesota, and they really shouldn't have done that. Maybe I'll take the spread instead.
All right.
I think I'm going to go with Seattle spread -11 here. They're 5. Let's see what they are. 7-3 ATS. Say less. Angry, and they're at home. I think they're going to play through 4 quarters of basketball. Cameron Brink, this might be a good under spot for her as well. Yeah, Brink is going to play in the 3-on-3 for the Olympics, which is a whole monster of Caitlin Clark drama, but good for her. Happy for her. Okay. The other game tonight is the Aces. Sorry, I'm having a hard time here. Minnesota versus the Aces. The thing about the Aces is they're winning their games, but they're still being priced as if they are the dominant team of the past 2 seasons, and they are winning their games-ish, but they're not covering. But 6.5 is a pretty small spread for someone like them. They're 3-7 ATS.
Again on Caesars. Caesars and Bet Rivers have -6.
See, Minnesota is 8-2 against the spread. I think you could get Minnesota to cover and Aces to win. The Aces are missing their second best player. They are coming off a bad loss to the Sparks. They should have won that game. I'm sure the spread was 10.5 and they lost outright. So they could also be an angry team right now. So maybe this is finally a game they cover. I mean, regression to the mean is they got to win and cover a game because that's just not how they got to win a game. But I don't think, the money line's just going to be, -320.
That's not worth it.
I feel like if you bet both Vegas and Seattle to cover the spread, coming off being angry, wanting to play 4 quarters of basketball, coming off bad losses, I feel like the worst you can do is go 1-1. So I think I like the idea of taking the Storm and the Aces both to cover.
We do like to raise our floor.
Yes.
Real quick, for the game 3 for Boston Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
The lines we did mention yesterday all did kind of steam. Well, one didn't move from yesterday, which was the Peyton Pritchard made 3, but that was at plus money. So we probably want to move like Boston. We advise waiting on Boston, and it is up to plus 110 from plus 105 yesterday. So I think you could still wait around a little bit.
Yeah, especially. Well, I was hoping. I mean, the Porzingis news didn't really change it too much.
I don't think that I haven't heard anything more definitive. So I just think that again, I'm feeling better and better about Boston because this is the first game, Boston out rebounded them slightly and, but committed more turnovers. Second game, Dallas won the rebounding, but committed more turnovers. So I do think that there's no advantage. A 3-point contest and Boston's usually going to have an advantage in terms of just based on volume. And then today I sent you a note, like I realized the free throw percentage is really into play into this game because usually, Boston is one of the 6 best free throw percentage shooting teams, over 80%. And Dallas is under 76%. We look at free throw percentage in college a lot because, you get some pretty wild disparities. But usually 2 good scoring perimeter oriented NBA teams, I don't think of it as a big factor, but it is a big factor in this series, both, especially when the spread's as tight as this one. So I just think that Boston's strategy and strengths and advantages travel well in terms of just just the 3-point. They're always going to take 40 attempts. They're gonna, usually make 15 of them, and then they're gonna go 16 for 20 as opposed to 15 for 20 from the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they played the way they played from deep, and Tatum still hasn't played well in 2 games, and they've won both. Like they can only get better, and
That's
Kristaps plays like I just don't even see a version. I guess Kyrie can also start to play better, so there is the argument on that side. But like they haven't, Tatum hasn't even been a weapon yet, and they're still winning these games.
It's hard to. I mean, again, it's stretches. It could be, but yeah, I just think that they're very. I like how consistent these teams have been in their performance, road and home. They've both done a great job of being almost as good on the road as they are at home. Boston's numbers in their 2-point differential, every stat is virtually the same on the road as it is home. They just don't shoot. They shoot 3 percentage points worse from 3.
Yeah.
So instead of shooting 40% like they do at home, they shoot 37%, but that's still pretty damn good.
Still pretty solid.
And then Dallas, unfortunately for them is the only thing that they're actually worse in 2-point differential at home. They shoot slightly better from 3. So it's just, Boston's game. Usually you like to think teams live by the 3 and die by the 3, but they rarely die by the 3 because they can defend the 3 so well. Yeah. It's one thing
and they also have 8 of them that
can
live by the 3.
And then 7 of the 8 guys also shoot 80% plus from the free throw line.
Yeah.
So whereas you saw Luka miss a couple he missed he missed a big pair of 2s. He had a bad night from the free throw line, and he had a much better year this year than previous years, but he's still not a rock solid, not one of these 90% free throw shooters. Kyrie's not getting to the line, and then PJ Washington, though he's a pretty solid 3-point shooter, isn't a good free throw shooter. Then you have the centers who aren't good free throw shooters either. So that's going to be a bigger factor than you would have thought given the Dallas strengths.
Yeah, I agree. And real quick, just if anyone has any Game 3 questions, we don't have a show tomorrow, so certainly get them out now if you have any questions about certain props. I want to take a look at Kyrie. Not someone we love to bet on, not someone we've probably necessarily had that much success on, but like, what does the model even think of him after the past 2 games?
We actually like Kyrie
okay.
in terms of PRA. Yeah, we have a lot of overs. I mean, he burned me. I had him over 2.5 made 3s, and he hasn't hit one this finals, I don't think. But we love over his rebounds. We have 4.5 rebounds projected, and it's minus 125. Might get a better price over 3.5. So that sounds nice. Turnovers, that's not a positive thing, but we have him not good value on over assists if it's minus 160. We have 4.9 assists. We have value on his steals, probably. So I think he'll break out, but just like, again, Boston is loaded with top tier defensive players, and they're not stupid. And I was listening to Bill Simmons talk about kind of what I was saying about why didn't Minnesota do what Boston's doing, trying to defend this team, because it's actually doesn't seem nearly as complicated as as Minnesota and OKC made it look like.
Exactly. Steven's saying if Dallas wins game 3, I'll take my chances with Tatum points for game 4, or he's on fraud watch. Yeah, I agree. I mean,
That's
we're definitely right about him not being MVP, but you have to imagine one of these games he plays the way he should.
I kind of say if this was like a year ago, 2 years ago, I think the Celtics team is actually more comfortable in their own skin and less susceptible to the pressure of performing to people's expectations. Like if I'm Jason Tatum, if I can win the championship and I'm first team All NBA and I have a $250 million contract, oh, screw you if you think I'm a fraud. I was like, I'll take that any day. I would be like that.
That's how I feel about baseball players when they have this like 160 some game season. They like lose a game and they're like, I'm walking home with a couple mil. Couldn't be that bad.
If you're Jason Tatum and you can win, and then I believe he would be a 2 or 3 time first team All NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
They're poised to potentially have a kind of a dynasty because I think that I don't think you really care.
Yeah.
I think 2 years ago he could be suckered into foolishly just trying to look like Kobe Bryant. But if they win 3 games on him shooting under 40%.
That just shows the depth.
I think he'll actually look to actually win,
right?
Rather than whatever reputation he might have.
Yeah. All right, we got one. I'll pull up the recap screen while we talk about this. A question about Drew Holiday over 6.5 rebounds. I'm assuming that's an alt line, maybe, or it's at plus money regardless.
Yeah, we talked about this I think yesterday. The model's not reflecting his recent performance where he's been rebounding really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I certainly wouldn't bet the under as the model would recommend because I think his standard line's 5.5. But we thought for Drew, we liked his assist and turnovers. We like him to be playing more of a facilitator and point guard values, and so did and that's what seemed to happen with the Steam. So like his assist line, it was at plus 112 yesterday, and now it's minus 112. So that's a pretty big move. So a lot of people are liking his over here, and his turnovers, it was plus 136, still a good solid plus money, plus 130. And again, turnovers isn't necessarily a bad thing. Doesn't mean you stink. It just means that you have the ball in your hands.
Right. Yeah, so if you didn't see that episode yesterday, we talked about our favorite props and plays for tomorrow night's game. Again, no show tomorrow, but we got basically everything out we could. Some early value. Thursday, we'll go over game 4, which is on Friday. Yeah. That'll work out perfectly.
Mackenzie's got a power nap because she just went on HQ and then has to go back on.
I just physically ran up here from the CBS studios downstairs, but you know what?
Power nap.
The name of the game.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Good luck with your bets tonight. As always, reach out to us if you have any questions, and we will see you guys on Thursday.